What's up, everybody, and welcome to Glasses in Session. For this episode, I'd like to visit what was once the most popular drink in America, the cobbler. Cobblers were mostly wine-based cocktails that included fresh fruit and berries, crushed ice, and a straw. We're going to start with a very classic version, the sherry cobbler. Our base will obviously be sherry. I'm going to go for a bit of a drier, nuttier version, so I'm using a combination of manzanilla and amontillado sherries. We'll also be using simple syrup, fresh orange and blackberries, orange bitters, and some powdered sugar to dust on top. Collect all of your ingredients and start out with preparing your fruit by slicing an orange into half moons. Next, to a shaker tin, add 1.5 ounces of amontillado and 1 ounce of manzanilla. You can mix and match your sherries however you see fit to your flavor profile. This is just the template that I'm working with today. To that, add 3/4 ounce of simple syrup and 2 dashes of orange bitters. Since we're dealing with a crushed ice cocktail, we need to be careful to not over dilute while we shake, so we're just going to add a small amount of ice and whip shake for 8 to 10 seconds. Fill your glass with crushed ice and strain the contents of the shaker over top. Add more ice up to the brim of the glass and garnish with fresh orange slices and a skewer of blackberries. Traditionally, this drink is also garnished with a light dusting of powdered sugar. It doesn't add much to the flavor of the drink, but I do really like the visual that it gives. And that, my friends, is the classic sherry cobbler. The combination of these two sherries gives a very crisp, light, almost savory sensation on the palate, and the rest of the ingredients are really just a pedestal to let these flavors stand on and shine through. If you aren't a fan of drying flavors, you can swap in something sweeter like a Pedro Jimenez or a different liqueur altogether. That's what's so great about a cobbler. You can mix and match sweeter and less dry sherries, drop the sherries altogether for a different base spirit, swap out flavors of syrups and garnishes. It's an extremely fun template to play around with. Next up is a personal creation I like to call the Little Apple. This cocktail uses the cobbler template and introduces ingredients that showcase the floral, savory notes of a good manzanilla. Our base spirit will be a chamomile-infused manzanilla sherry. We'll also be using some elderflower liqueur, a fresh apple, Honeycrisp syrup, and aromatic bitters. We'll start out with our infusion by adding 2 tablespoons of chamomile tea to 4 ounces of manzanilla sherry. Let that infuse for about 2 hours or as long as your palate desires. Once your sherry has been adequately infused, strain out the chamomile flowers and then we can begin constructing the drink. To a shaker tin, add 1/2 ounce of Honeycrisp syrup, 1/2 ounce of elderflower liqueur, and 2 ounces of the infused sherry. Same deal here, add a little ice or 1 big ice chunk and whip shake vigorously for 8 to 10 seconds. Add crushed ice to a low ball and strain into the glass. Top the drink with fresh ice and garnish with 2 to 3 dashes of Angostura bitters as well as a few apple slices. And that, my friends, is the Little Apple. Manzanilla is most notable for having delicate floral notes, so I wanted to showcase that more in this drink by infusing the sherry with chamomile as well as the addition of elderflower. The word manzanilla in Spanish is little apple, so I thought it would be fun to try and introduce apple flavors in the sweet component as well. It worked out seamlessly with this drink. The Honeycrisp does a great job of keeping up with the rest of the flavors without taking over the other very delicate notes we've built up. Alright, lastly, we'll be doing a drink called the Bitter Blanc. This drink follows the template of a cobbler, but switches out the base spirit for something a little different. Still in essence a cobbler, but completely different flavor profile. You'll need fresh grapefruit for slicing and juicing, demerara syrup, Cointreau or any triple sec, and Lillet Blanc. We're going to start out by cutting a grapefruit, some for juicing and some for garnishing. Set that aside and to a shaker tin add 1/2 ounce of demerara syrup, 1/2 ounce of freshly squeezed grapefruit juice, 1/2 ounce of triple sec, and 2 ounces of our Lillet Blanc. Add your ice and whip shake for 8 to 10 seconds. Fill a highball with crushed ice and strain the contents of the shaker over top. Add fresh ice as needed and garnish with freshly cut grapefruit slices. And that, my friends, is the Bitter Blanc. The bright citrus of the triple sec and grapefruit pairs wonderfully with the pithy, bittersweet notes of the Lillet Blanc. It reminds me of a very herbal, low ABV version of a Paloma. There you have it, 3 great recipes that represent the cobbler cocktail. I feel like cobblers and sherries in particular are very underrated in the current cocktail scene, especially for those of you who are looking for lighter cocktails that are lower in alcohol content. This drink is perfect and has a ton of history to back it up as being one of the best. I hope this video inspires you to go out and experiment with making cobblers as well as utilizing sherries in your drinks. Let me know in the comments what you all come up with. And thanks for watching. See you next time.